Cats don't sit in the same place over and over by accident. It's shaped by how they feel about their surroundings and the people nearby. If your cat keeps returning to one specific spot, they're sending a message, and it's meant for you. On your lap. This is kind of an obvious one, so let's kick off with it before getting to slightly stranger things like sitting in a doorway. My ginger boy Artemis does this all the time, like he's a guardian of a threshold to another room. It's beyond adorable. When a cat climbs into your lap, especially while you're awake and alert, it's not just about staying warm. This is one of the most emotionally charged places a cat can choose to sit. Why? Because your lap isn't just a surface. It's you, your body, your energy, and crucially your scent. When a cat chooses to rest there, they're putting themselves into the most vulnerable position imaginable, literally clambering up onto a creature big enough to hurt them. That's you. But they do it by choice because everything about you, even your scent, makes them feel safe. There's a 2019 study conducted by Dr. Kristen Vitale that I've mentioned a few times on this channel. Remarkably, it was discovered that cats exhibit attachment styles similar to those of human infants. Some cats exhibit secure attachment, seeking out their person as a source of safety and reassurance, just like a baby does to their mom. And one of the most significant signs of that secure bond? Voluntarily sitting on you. Not beside you, not across the room, staring at you like a moody portrait. But on you? It's a little emotional homecoming. A mix of trust, affection, and you are where I feel safest. As I mentioned earlier, scent plays a role in that. When a cat sits on your lap, they're not just absorbing your smell, they're blending theirs with yours, creating a communal family odor, just like wildcats do with their pack. Incredible, right? Like having a family portrait but with smells. Cats have scent glands in their paws and fur, and being close to your core body scent helps reinforce that this is a mutual bond. So next time your cat curls up in your lap and turns into a loaf, know this. They're not just resting, they're saying, "You are mine, and I am yours. Deal with it." Your lap is not the only part of your body your cat loves to sit on, though there are a few other weird sitting places we should explore before returning to that. On your seat, after you get up. You just stood up to get a snack or check the mail, or because your leg fell asleep under the weight of your cat and the decision between comfort and circulation finally tipped towards survival. And the moment you return, your seat has been claimed, stolen by your cat. And you can't help but ponder, did they only sit on my lap so they could get to the seat beneath me eventually? It's easy to assume this behavior is just opportunistic. Oh, a warm chair, I'll sit here. However, some of my favorite feline behaviorists like Dr. Mikel Delgado and John Bradshaw have noted that cats are hugely susceptible to scent and territory. When your cat sits in your exact spot right after you've left it, it's a subtle blend of scent, reinforcement, and social mimicry. They're not just enjoying residual heat, though of course that plays a small role. They're placing themselves in your absence. They sit where you sat, almost like they're saying, "You left a part of yourself here, and I want to keep it warm." It's a form of passive bonding, a sort of quiet declaration of closeness. Even if it does feel like they're planting a flag in your land the second you turn your back, or stealing your food when your back is turned. It's also a kind of non-verbal marking. They're mixing their scent with yours on a shared territory. The cushion becomes a place that smells like both of you, which helps your cat feel emotionally anchored. We're back to the importance of creating a family odor again. And for cats with a more observant nature, this can even mimic your habits. Sitting where you sit, napping where you nap. It's not imitation in the human sense, but in a way of orbiting your presence. Your absence doesn't stop the relationship. They're keeping it going. On your laptop or keyboard. You sit down to work. Your fingers hover over the keys. You're finally focused after putting off work all day. Finally, you're going to get something done. File those taxes or write that novel you've always wanted to write. And suddenly, there's a thump. A tail, a paw, a furry wall of, "Nope, that's not happening." Let's be very clear. There is a misconception that cats sit on laptops for warmth. But no, this is not about warmth. If they wanted warmth, they'd pick anything else. There are plenty of radiators they could sit on. This is about attention, and more specifically, redirecting your attention to them. Cats are pattern masters. They notice when you look at a screen and not at them. They notice that particular objects seem to steal your focus. And after a few repetitions, they've cracked the code. If I put myself here, I become the center of the universe again. And that's what they want. Because how dare you look at the computer instead of them? This is deliberate disruption. It's not petty, it's strategic. Your cat sitting on your keyboard is a full-blown protest and performance. It's a way of saying, whatever this thing is, it's getting too much of you, so I'm here to take you back. Studies on associative memory in cats show that they not only remember routines, they link emotional outcomes to those routines. So while to you your laptop is just a tool, to your cat it is hilarious. Sort of a rival in the attention economy. So when your cat is sitting on it, they're reclaiming the attention you're giving it. In doorways or thresholds. Now, I said I'd talk about this. This is one my orange boy does, randomly sitting at the threshold between two rooms. This one's different because that spot is not warm, nor is it soft, but your cat keeps choosing it. The spot in the hallway, the doorway between rooms, that precise inch between the kitchen and the living room. It may seem odd, but there's strategy at work here. Because doorways are high-traffic zones, they're places of transition. Ethologists have found that cats often position themselves in these liminal spaces not to rest, but to observe and survey their surroundings, to manage, to monitor. When your cat is in the doorway, they're doing three things at once. First, watching who comes and goes. Second, placing themselves where interaction is most likely to occur. And third, holding emotional ground. This isn't about closeness. It's about control. To be clear, not dominance. More control in the sense of feeling secure through awareness. Naturally, this means it can also be a sign of anxiety. Cats who are sensitive to change or separation might place themselves in doorways as a way to track your movement. It's how they stay connected without needing to follow you into every room. It looks casual, but the intent is structured. Think of it as emotional surveillance. If your cat consistently places themselves in doorways, especially when you're leaving or coming home, it may be a subtle signal that they're managing their stress through proximity. That silent little hallway loaf is more emotionally charged than it looks. On your chest. Now this one hits a little deeper, literally and emotionally. Hence why I thought I'd wait a bit before bringing it up. You know when your cat climbs up and settles on your chest, especially when you're lying down? That's not random. That is raw primal bonding. Your chest is where your heartbeat is strongest, where your breath rises and falls. It's a sensory experience that mimics the warmth and rhythm of kittenhood. Because newborn kittens rely on the heartbeat and body heat of their mothers and litter mates to feel safe. And while adult cats might not consciously remember that stage, their nervous systems do. So when your cat sits on your chest, they're not just choosing a soft place. They're choosing you as a source of comfort that feels timeless, like home in its oldest form. Cats are extremely discerning about where they place themselves during moments of vulnerability. And sleep or stillness is peak vulnerability. So if your cat rests on your chest, especially while you're relaxed or asleep, they're placing a tremendous amount of trust in your presence. This isn't just about affection. Think of it as a return to emotional baseline, like, and this is a weird simile, so bear with me, plugging into their original security system. It's intimate, a little intense, and wonderful, even when their tail is in your face. But if where your cat sits means so much, what do you do with those messages? Where they don't sit. We talk about what it means when your cat sits where they do, because they're not just flopping their butts down randomly. But before that, we need to get a grip with the places where they don't sit, because it is interesting when they consistently avoid somewhere. Perhaps a favorite spot they've suddenly stopped using, or a cozy nook that stays empty, even when it's warm and inviting, or a lap they used to frequent but now ignore. Changes in seating behavior can indicate emotional shifts. sometimes physical discomfort, sometimes the emotional stress. Cats communicate absence with just as much clarity as presence. So if your cat once loved a particular spot and now acts like it's haunted, pay attention. It might be a message in reverse. How to respond to these messages. Now here's the most essential part. Every time your cat picks a place to sit, they're giving you an emotional status update. Some are saying, "I feel safe here," like your lap. Some are saying, "I miss you when you're busy," like your laptop. Some are even saying, "I'm monitoring everything because I'm not sure what's going to happen next," like the threshold between two rooms. So what can you do with this information? Firstly, acknowledge their choices. If your cat consistently sits on your chest, don't just pet them, soak in that trust. It's real. Secondly, give them alternatives that feel emotionally equivalent. If your cat wants to be in your lap but you're working, keep a soft blanket nearby that smells like you. Let them be close on their terms. Thirdly, notice new patterns. A change in seating behavior can be the first sign of physically or emotionally being in tune. And finally, perhaps most crucially, lean into their language. Your cat's choices are full of intention. The more you respect and respond to those choices, the deeper your connection becomes. Where they sit sends one kind of message, but what do they do while sitting? That's something else entirely. If your cat sits close but won't let you touch them, this is why.